What you're here for, this is the last and final budget and finance budget work session. There's not much really to talk about. We've only got about 15 minutes here to discuss. We had a meeting last night, a nice long meeting where we discussed most of the items that were either going to be funded or couldn't be funded, or we were working on funding, and kind of go through some of the things that we worked on today to try to get to the final few issues that were outstanding. Councilmember Allen had brought an issue regarding the TJC, and so we are. I spoke with Health today, since Councilmember Allen walked in, and she's first. Sorry, I spoke with Health today, and so that issue it's a little more complicated than I thought. So we do have the Health Department does work with Medicaid folks. We get money from Medicaid agency TennCare here in the state to work with folks who are trying to get on Medicaid or who are being removed from Medicaid. Well, come to find out, they have not been really removing folks during the pandemic stage, and that's about to start back up. And so a lot of these folks don't know that that's about to start back up. And so a lot of these folks go to General Hospital, and we would really like for these folks to have their insurance if they qualify. So I think in the long term, it would save us a lot of money. That small amount, the $60,000 to put people in some of the communities that are most affected by TennCare, you would definitely save General Hospital a whole lot of money by investing the $60,000. And so you put it so we're taking this. There's a surplus grant in it was surplus of the fund balances for General Hospital. It's 7.3, I believe it's $7.3 million is what the surplus was, and we're just taking the $60,000 from that 7.3, which we think is a good spot because this should save them money long term. So that was a good spot to get that $60,000. So Berkeley, I'm glad we could get that for you. The Safe Bar program, and someone might have to help me with this on what we're doing with this. I don't know if Kelly or if Margaret wants to talk about this. We're getting some money. There was a lot of folks had interest in this, and I know we got some calls yesterday about what they're doing at the sexual assault centers for the Safe Bar program. So if Kelly, if you want to speak to this on how we're going to work on that. It's coming from contingency utility is where we're going to fund that, and it's is it $75,000, Aaron? I'm looking at you. I think, yeah, I'm just making sure. Berkeley had an issue, and obviously the folks came out for the Highland Rim. There's a large number. There's couple of $1 million number in the CIB. We're going to try to address that in the CIB. There is money right now that there's planning money that they have over at planning. They don't have the full $250. So what we're going to try to do is work with them. I have a feeling someone who is sitting on the front row who brought this forward might be sitting on the front row in September. So that's when the CIB will be coming through there. My thought on this was they just came here last week. I didn't really know anything about the issue, and it's a lot of land for us to say this. We're going to do this with this big swath, of tens of thousands of acres. I'm sure Nashville Next has something to say about some of that land and what could be developed, what could not be developed. So I don't know if you necessarily want to save all that land. So I think it's something that the council needs to have discussions, maybe a few meetings with planning to see where we are. And I'm sure Councilmember Allen will be more than happy to kind of lead that to see where we are on that. The villages at Glencliff was an issue. That is going to be addressed with the ARPA contingency funding. And so while that is not being funded in the operating budget, it's going to be taken care of in the ARPA money. So all you who are on the ARPA group, y'all can take a look at that. And then the next the next issue, and it's the last one I have on my list, was the Morris building. That Zolfat, Councilmember Suara had it down for $8 million. It's in the CIB for $24 million. And how much? $28 million, I'm sorry. And so we just don't have the funds in the operating budget. Obviously, this is more of a CIB issue, and so it's in the CIB for that amount. And right now, It's just not possible for us. We just don't have surplus or anything like that to spend $28 million. So I think I told, if you're here today and you didn't know, what we discussed yesterday is that there is going to be a 2% COLA increase. So that's going to get you to a 6% COLA this year. So that's the best we could do. I was told that that's the largest COLA that they've ever done. So I figured with the inflation rate from last year and this year, when we combined it together, it was right at 6%. So we're doing right at a 6% COLA. So hopefully everybody's happy with that. I'm sure there are going to be some folks that want more, but I don't think we can really do more unless you want to start cutting from a whole lot of departments, and that's just not my goal. If anybody has any questions about anything, feel free to ask. They're all here to answer the questions. The budget will be out tomorrow. It should be released right about 12 o'clock, and y'all can see what all got funded. Councilmember Johnston, you're recognized.
Thank you. I appreciate the additional 2% in COLA. Is there any appetite at all to look at the additional 1% as a one-time bonus to pull to get them to that 7%? Because I understand what you're saying the past 2 years, but that's kind of not, inflation builds on itself. So it's not like the average of the two. That's not how it works. And I think we've historically really kind of not taken care of employees the way we should have. So have we discussed that at all? Is that? So
we were looking at doing a $500 bonus. And so I had them run the numbers on that. And that is everybody, whatever they make after taxes, we're all taking out the 22%, getting to a $500 bonus. That number was almost $8 million. If you start taking $8 million, then we start taking out of surplus for items that I felt were more important, since we're giving a 6% this year. And some of those items we have there's General Hospital, there's the Barnes Fund in the surplus, there's a lot of items on there that we have traffic calming. There's a lot of items on there from NDOT for the major thoroughfares. Those major thoroughfares are for intersections where we've had a lot of deaths in the past few years. So me and my vice chair, Jennifer, we just did not think that that $500, the juice on that's just a 0.5%, the $500 bonus. We just didn't think the juice was worth the squeeze on that, considering what we would have to take money from. And so I understand, believe me, but the 6% I thought was more than fair. And I just thought that, obviously, their amendments can be filed, a day after, and if you want to file it, and if the council thinks that's where they want to go, I'm just one person. So, well, Jennifer, she's two people, and she's 3 and 4. So, but anyway, so that's kind of where we are on that.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that there was a lot of thought that went into it, and there was thank you, Greg Claxton. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg Claxton. I don't see any other hands. Seeing no one else, we got a budget. Oh, did somebody else have a hand? Anybody else? I see nothing. We got a meeting here in 13 minutes, so hopefully we'll get a little bigger crowd here before then. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate all the work y'all did, so thank you.